Here we are, back at it again, my friends. Look, man.
I respect you in the game, for you not to even know my name. I done came from the bottom, but now I'm on top. And I promise to give you everything that I got. Gotta know what it means to you, what it means.
Look, man, your boy had to take time off so that I could watch. So you guys may remember, I believe that I was like, look, the next episode was going to be on the moment of contact. So it was a documentary. It's a good documentary, right? So it's a documentary by, I want to say it's James Fox is the director, which this type of like what I'm looking at should tell me, but it doesn't, which is crazy. Yep, James Fox. So he was on a Joe Rogan Experience, maybe I don't know if it was a few weeks ago, like if it was 2 weeks ago, or yeah, it would have had to been. But I want to say that I heard about this documentary before he was on Rogan. I'm just not sure how I heard about it, but yeah. Matter of fact, it was before Rogan, because I saw the name and it didn't register, right? Because I was thinking Jamie Foxx, but then it was like James Fox, and I didn't read the description. So somehow, some way, keep coming up with funky ass hits like every single day. And I was like, all right, I hear about the Virginia case. It's in Brazil. So Virginia, Brazil, right? I hear about that. I'm not really sure how and why, but I hear about it. And then he goes on Rogan. So I watch his episode. I'm like, look, you guys already know that I'm like, look, it would be cool if something like that were to happen. But I don't believe it. I just don't believe that type of stuff. Right. So I'm like, all right, go ahead and watch. Let's watch Moment of Contact. But then while I was watching Moment of Contact, I also came across this documentary called The Cosmic Hoax and Exposed. Right? So I wanted to watch both of those things together, like have both of them, so that this way when I come on air, right, I can talk about both of them. Right? So before we get into that, what else has been going on for these past few weeks? Just work, right? So just working 2 jobs, and then I got another project that I'm working on. So 2 jobs and a special project, and just trying to find, okay, with the time, all right, when am I going to record? So today is Wednesday, it's going to post today, right? So it's going to post today at, what is it? It's going to post today at like 6 or 6:30 or whatever, right? So it's like, all right. But I want to have it to where I'm not in crunch time. So I'm going to try to just maybe go back to recording on Saturdays. Maybe like, well, sometimes I work Saturday. But maybe even at night, right? Because I've been playing, so I've been gaming. Because it's like, all right, I'm filling up all of this time with work, right? Even the special project is work. So it's the work. I bet being on there work. Right. So it's like, yo, like is that my whole existence is to just freaking work? Like, that's it. Like, yo. And, it's like, nah, bro, like, yo, yeah, ooh. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get back, right? I just can't fill up my time just working. If I'm not working, then I'm not, I don't know. I don't know if important is the word that I want to use, but if I'm not working, then I'm not important or I'm not valuable. Right. So it's definitely something trying to creep up into my mind and my being. I'm like, nah, yo, dummy. I ain't trying to hear that. So it's like, all right, boom. So I've been playing Crackdown 3, which I'm having a lot of fun. So I give myself like, yo, one day. All right. So one day I get the game. Look, one day every 23 months. Like, wow, man. Right. So I'm giving myself one day to game. But then I'm also getting back mentally. I'm ready to jump back into Tekken. Right. So Tekken 8 will be coming out at some point within the next 2 years. And the system is going to be, I can't say revamped, but it's going to definitely be changed a little bit. So I'm going to have to take consideration for the change that's going to happen. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, I can be working on my punishing, and I can be, frame punishing. I can work on that, punishing negative frames, getting into a habit and a routine to where if I say, okay, this is 14 frames, this is a 14 frame punisher, boom, I'll be able to punish that 14 frame. If this is a 13 frame, I could be able to punish it, right? So once I mentally tell myself, okay, this is 13, boom, now I'm punishing 13, punishing 14, 16, 18, 19, right? 21, etc., 24, 10. So I'm like, yo, all right, so I can be building that up. Now, it's like, okay, so then when are we going to drop the podcast? So I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking maybe after my gaming session. So on Fridays after I get finished playing Crackdown. So after Crackdown, I can do my podcast, record the episode, and that way maybe we can have some stuff going on. So we'll see, but ultimately that's the issue. That's the main issue. Just looking forward, knowing that, okay, yo, all of this, just filling up my schedule with all of this work and not really leaving time for other things. Then we got the podcast, which is work, right? So we got that. On my wish list is 65. I definitely want to see that. But man, I was checking out these like sci-fi Avatar, Way of the Warrior, of course, and I talked about this, but I definitely want it again. I'm gonna buy it at some point. We got Bob Lazar, which I should have watched that as well, but I just don't have a lot of time for this type of stuff. So what I was thinking is, all right, I can do, maybe, so I just got the text that Tina Turner died. So she died at 83. So, definitely shout outs to Tina Turner. I always thought she was beautiful, far as when you look at those videos of her back in the day. I always thought that she was just a beautiful woman. But you guys know, like, I'm a body person, so, you know, I don't know what her body looks like as far as her shape and everything, but just me just remembering and thinking, you know, I want to say that I thought her lips were beautiful, but it's hard to tell, right? I mean, you think your memory is good, but a lot of times you just be filling in. You be filling in. The memory be filled with other memories to compile this memory, right? So I definitely look, that's a part of life, right? So it comes for us all. So that's that, right? But just structuring the podcast, I want to get into some more science fiction. So what I think I'm going to do, unless some topic really jumps out at me, right? So these next few episodes, we're going to be exploring science fictions, different stories. We're going to be exploring different stories, so different movies and their plot lines and their stories, and just like some of the just the beauty in those stories, right? The what if, the imagination, just using the imagination on some of these stories, right? So that's all that's going on. Definitely glad to be back in the seat. So we're going to be drawing from Moment of Contact. I watched The Phenomenon, which is another James Fox documentary. How much of that did I get through? See, this says that I watched the whole thing, but I didn't. I didn't watch the whole thing because I had some type of problem. I'm not really sure what was wrong with it, but I ran into some issue. But I did watch like a little bit of it. So we got the Moment of Contact, Phenomenon. We have the Cosmic Hoax, and then I had to draw into Tomorrowland. No, I spoke on Tomorrowland a long time ago, but I had to do a quick revisit of it, you know, because my whole thing with the Moment of Contact is that I don't want to get up here and be like, oh man, they're lying and it was fake, and you know, like I'm not trying to be that person, and I truly believe that we shall overcome someday. Right? So it's like, yo, man, I truly believe that, look, some of these cases and sightings could be real to the person who is experiencing them. Right? Now, I would say that at least there just has to be one, because when we look at the cosmic hoax, we look at the why, right? Like, that's what I was looking for, is the why. Now, I don't want to be biased. So this may or may not be true, right? The why that I'm going to bring forth may or may not be true. So I understand that, but I had to have a reason. Like, okay, why? Because I definitely feel like it's fake. But it's like, but why? Why is there such a big need for it? And I already had an idea of, and you guys remember that I spoke on this maybe 2 episodes ago, where I spoke on we're like 2 years old. We're like 9 months, and we just need someone to take care of us and lift us into tomorrow and help us and hold our hand. Baby, won't you hold my hand? Right? So a part of me feel like that, but let's go ahead and jump into Moment of Contact, right? So the whole idea with the Moment of Contact is you have a UFO that is flying around Virginia, Brazil, and it crashes, right? And you had multiple sightings. So a few people watched it. They watched this thing flying around, and it's like, okay. When you watch the documentary, I mean, there's holes in the story. There's two different, and this is the whole Genesis issue, where there's two creation stories in Genesis. Just like in this, there's two stories. Far as the guy who gets exposed to the creature, so there's two stories. One, the reporter says that he's there for a week or 2 weeks, but then the people in the family saying that he was there and he died that day, right? Even in, I want to say it was I'm not sure if it was Moment of Contact or if it was the Hoax, right? But the biggest issue, and this is the thing, man, you just really have people who have never been afraid of something, who have never truly been in a position of fear and danger, and they're telling you about this encounter with extraterrestrials. So for a person who has been in a life and death situation, a person who've experienced fear outside of, oh, my mom or dad is going to spank me and I'm going to get in trouble. Like when you've experienced fear outside of that, like true fear, then you know what that is. So for you to tell me that a child is seeing so you have a kid, you have a child who is seeing a creature that has never been seen before by the human species. So you're seeing a new creature that has never been seen before. And you're just, hey, whoop doo 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 doo, like, yo, it just does not make sense. It just doesn't. And the only reason why it makes sense to these people when they tell these stories is because they never truly ran up on anything. They never come up on anything that was just truly fear crippling. We have, like, you guys have all seen whales in the, like, on TV, in documentaries. But to actually, and we know that, look, whales, they don't eat people. They're friendly. They're this, they're that. Like we have an idea of that. But to actually come up and you're in a boat and a whale, it comes out of the water. Let's say it's maybe 100. No, let's give it 50. It's 50 feet away from you and it comes out of the water, right? So it comes out of the water. Boom, it's 50 feet away. And then it goes down. It's coming towards you. So you know that it's towards you. And then it goes under you. you see it, right? You see it. Like, I'm telling you that this is your first time experiencing this, and you know about whales. You know that, look, it's not like that he's going to eat you. So it's not like this is a creature that you've never seen, but that being your first time, like, yo, you are going to be afraid. You are, like, that fear that you are going to have is real. Because even though you watched a few Disney movies and you watched a few this and you watched a few that, like, yo, your first encounter with something of that magnitude is you're going to have a taste of fear in your mouth. That's just reality. Fear is good. Fear is good for you. There are huge benefits in those states. But people who've never really been in that type of situation, who've never really experienced that type of fear, they don't know it. So, they tell you this story. Yeah, it was, I saw this man-like creature. Like, I'm telling you, if you're a kid, you can just do this with kids. If you're a kid, you have some kids just walking, they're by themselves. There's maybe 3 of them. It could be, it doesn't matter. It could be boys, it could be girls, a mixture. And you have a nice, friendly werewolf suit, right? Just not even where he looks evil and mean. But he's a big wolf that's standing up on, he's even crouched down. So you're like, oh man, what is that? And then he stands up, right? Even if it's a cat, if it's a lizard, if it's anything, like, yo, those kids are going to be terrified. Like, they are. But yet in these stories, there's never any fear. And there's always some telepathy going on. Yes, I could feel the sensation, the pain. So specifically in the moment of contact, they talk about this smell, and it's a horrible smell, right? It's a horrible smell, but this smell is not, the kids don't, so not only is this creature, this is the first time you've seen some type of creature like this, but so not only that, but then there's this awful smell. But yet we're to believe that these kids, that these children, they're just interpreting all of this stuff, and they're just mature. They're handling all of this stuff just pros. No shoulda, coulda, wouldas. These shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? So none of that. Just not. They handle this thing like true vets. They've been briefed. They've been doing drills, alien drills. Like, yo, it just doesn't sound real. Like, and so I'm not calling these kids because, at this point they're adults. They're all, I think they're like in their 40s now. Maybe the youngest one is maybe mid 30s or something. So, but they come up. So the story is they're walking, and then they come up into, it's like this closed off section when you see it. So if I'm just telling you the story, all right, here's the story. So we're walking in the field, and we see this creature. And then we walk a little bit closer, and then we can really see it, and we make eye contact with it. And, I could feel that it wasn't threatening. It was some type of telepathy, or just, I could understand that, look, he's afraid, he's hurt, he doesn't want to hurt me. So I could sense that there's a sense. Oh yeah. I also reviewed Dreamcatcher, which is really good. Like, that movie is good, and I'm sure people say, "Oh, the book is even better," right? So I'm not disputing the book. I'm sure the book is good. So they come up on this alien, and then he needs help. They make eye contact. Then they walk away. I guess they walked away. I'm not really sure if they walked away or what, or they just ran away. Right. But now in your mind, you're thinking, all right, you're coming across this field. But when you look at the map and you look at where they were, I mean, this is like a nice area within like a little hood, right? So if you're an alien, you're flying. This is just regular standard stuff, and somehow, some way, you crash. You run into some type of turbulence. You got to have some type of backup plan, right? And I spoke about this before, but I feel like because we didn't have drones back then now aliens didn't have drones. But I think the new aliens that we're going to start to hear about, and like, they're going to have drone technology. Like, how come they have drone technology now? If they're so superior that they can get over here, so they can get to this planet from wherever planet they're from. They have that technology, but they don't have drones. Now that we have drones, now all of a sudden now they're going to have drones. They're going to have even better, smaller drones. They're going to have like insect-like drones, right? But before we had drones, aliens didn't have drones. Because, like, just this story, all right, you're flying and then you encounter some type of turbulence and then you got to crash. Well, then what's the plan? As far as, all right, this is your mission. You're either a scientist or you're a warrior. You're a soldier. Like, that's it. Or, I mean, look, they could be at the point where this is a vacation spot. Hey, you want to get away from Centuria 7734? Look, go down to Earth. Go down to Lamron. Go down to Lamron, right? Like, I mean, maybe that's where they are in the game. Look, this is a little hot destination. You guys want to go and experience alien life with the smartest creatures that's under us, right? You want to go experience life with them, for a few buckaroonies. We'll take you on this flight, and then you can go and we'll camp out, right? So those are our situations. Now, from a scientist, even so, all three, you got to have some type of strategy, some type of plan for when some type of anomalies occur. So then what's the plan? All right, y'all crash on Earth. All right, so the first crash, the biggest one was Roswell, right? So from an alien civilization standpoint, we lost a few soldiers or scientists. Excuse me. We lost a few of them on Earth. And they was never recovered. We didn't get them back. That's just, look, that's a part of the game, right? You go into the wild, that's a part of the game, right? But we have, we have ways and protocols. So it's like, so what is the protocol for these extraterrestrials if they encounter some type of issue? If it's lightning or whatever, gravity spikes, who knows what it is, right? But if they encounter something like that, then what is the protocol for it? So at that point, it's like, they go, they're flying, and they crash. They're running or going towards the city. Like, that's UFO 101. They should be teaching this to everyone who comes over. Do not get caught, right? I mean, clearly they don't want to be caught. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be in the minds of human beings, right? So with that being said, it's like, what's the plan then? Because, if we just looking at this documentary, y'all don't have a plan because you going straight to a CEO, you crashing and you going to the city like, you've been flying over the land. So, even if it's a new land, right? Even if you have me and I'm flying in a jet and I fly from where I am to Japan or where I am to anywhere, I know how I got there. I know all the things that I've seen between here and wherever I'm going. Like, I know that. So if I'm trying to get away from people, I know, okay, look, there's a bunch of people here. So I need to get away from there. And where these aliens are spotted by these kids, like, it just doesn't, to me, it just does not seem, it just doesn't seem smart. Like, why would you go towards people if clearly you don't want to be seen or captured by people? And then, I mean, it could be vision, it could be a whole host of things of why, right? So we can have a whole host of explanations, but we have to preface all of those explanations with they traveled from their planet to this planet. Like, we can barely travel from here to Mars, but they travel from some planet that we don't even know. They came here from some type of other solar system. Like, that's just way out of the cards for us, far as thinking. But so they can do that, but they can't navigate away from civilization, from people. Like it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And then, so you have your sightings, you have, okay, then this is broad daylight and this alien, I mean, it's just going through, just think of wherever you live is just going through your town, right? It's just going through your town. I'm telling you, in reality, that a mob would have formed. Only thing you gotta do is, just switch out that story for because everyone has always been racist against black people. Like, they've always been racist. So instead of an alien, it's some lone black person, right? 3 blacks are driving. They crash, and now they have to escape, right? Who knows where they're trying to get to? Who knows where they're from? Like, a mob is going to form. Like, I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. If some kids come and say, like, some black guy tried to talk to me. Like, wait, what? And they're just going to, we talking about the 90s, like, a mob is going to form. Right? And no one has ever seen a black person. Like, it's just going, or any race in an area where no one has ever seen it before. So it doesn't matter if you're white or Hispanic or Asian, or it don't matter what you are. Put you somewhere in the 90s where no one has ever seen your race before. No one has ever seen what you look like. No one has ever seen that before. In the 90s, we just throw you in that place. And now it's Warriors come out and play. Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, it is. Let alone the military and the police. Like, before all of that even kick off, by the time they get to you, like, you took some hits. Okay. So that was like, that's just where I just have that, like, man, it just does not seem plausible. It just doesn't. Okay. So we have that, like I said, we have the smell. So you have that type of smell that no one has ever smelled before. It's a horrible smell. This officer sees this creature and just grabs it with his bare hands, and he takes it, throws it in the car, and then they drive. I don't know if they drove to the hospital, they drove to the military base, who knows where they drove to, but they drive somewhere, then he gets sick, then they gotta go to the hospital, right? So, I mean, it's, like I said, it's so much there, but I don't want to dwell on and just say that, like, this is fake, because I don't know. It could be real. Like, and like I said, there could be a case where this stuff happens and the person who's experiencing it believes that it's real. All right. They believe that it's real. So I can't just say that, okay, look. So with that being said, that, all right, maybe it's, maybe these people believed they believe this. But then we got to say, all right, then we got to get into the why, right? Now, it could be a test run. It could be a test run, because in this documentary, they say that that the United States government came and they claimed the body. Now, I mean, look, maybe it picked up on the radar somehow, some way. The government, United States government, was already there. Who knows? But okay, like, so. That tells me that maybe it was done by the United States government, because if something is, flying, or, I mean, really at this point, we just got to say flying, because the other alternatives, it just, it makes things a little bit different. When we're going to get to, one of the different alternatives when we look at Tomorrowland. But so right now we're just talking about flying. We're talking about UFOs, right? Flying saucers. This is what these creatures were doing. So they fly in. Other nations would have detected them. And now you're going to have a war at that point, at that location, because the United States is coming. The Soviet Union, or, just during that age, right? Whatever the government is called, right? China. So you're going to have these big governments and big agencies, these global agencies, these global governments, they're going to be descending and coming to that point. Like, we need to get eyes on this, right? Then they're not going to say, like, just imagine if we know that there's something that's coming in, right? It's coming in hot from Mars, and it's going to it's going to land in Soviet Union territory, or it's going to land in Chinese territory, or it's going to land, and we believe that this is life. It's extraterrestrial. It's going to land in the United States soil. Others, so no matter where it lands, like, everyone is going to be there. Like, forget all that peace like, forget all of that. All of that goes out of the window. All right. Like, it goes out of the window. All right. So if the United States were the only ones to come to Brazil and retrieve this body, and they just, it was real nonchalantly, it wasn't a big uproar, it was real just, look, we come here, we're going to grab this thing. That makes me think that the United States was behind it. And to me, it just sounds like they're just doing test runs. It's like, all right, how would this scenario play out? So if an alien comes, it lands, all right, what all do we need, right? That's really what we're saying, is what all do we need to create this illusion? How does it play out in reality, in real life? So it's like a real life drill. How would that play out with the people and all of the things like that? So they pick these areas, and look, maybe Virginia, Brazil, they was up. They say, look, because when you talk, when he's interviewing these people, I mean, they're like, I believe it, right? So you have the mayor of the city of Virginia. You have the mayor, he believes it. Several people, you got doctors, you got all these people coming on there, alleged at that point, because I don't know any of these people, but you have alleged officials and professionals who like, I believe it, right? So, but it never really went anywhere. It's not like that was blasted on the news. And I want to say that happened in 96. And it happened before Tupac, before his death. I believe it happened before Tupac's death. Right? So we have our news stuff that's going on in the United States during that time. But this never made it. This never made it to where this was a thing and we were talking about it. Right? So these are questions and it's like, well, why? So that's the initial thing, the initial processing of contact, moment of contact. Well, like I said, I posed a few questions, but yeah, I just want to start this. But in The Cosmic Hoax, this is by Dr. Stephen Gear. This was a good one. This is also a good documentary. The other one, Moment of Contact, was a good documentary. So it was a good documentary. The Cosmic Hoax, it is good. Now, they're not like me to saying that, yo, this stuff didn't exist and this stuff doesn't exist, right? They're saying it's like their point of view is, look, it's a good vehicle, right? UFOs and aliens, that's a good vehicle. We just don't want whoever's driving the car right now, we don't want them driving it. I want to drive the car. So I don't want to destroy the car. I want to drive the car. Like, that's their standpoint. So they're saying that, look, aliens are here and they're coming here and they're friendly. Like, yo, they are our guardians. They are our big brothers. They want to make sure that we don't hurt ourselves and just hurt life and just, look, we're smart, we're intelligent, but we're also thirsty for blood and war, and they want to like kind of coach us. They want to be our coach. They want to be our big brother. Look, little homie, I see you out there. This is the alien nation talking to us, the humanity, talking to humans. Look, little bro, I see you out there doing your thing, and you look good. You out there, you looking good. You looking strong. You're smart. You fast, okay? But, look, you got to work on that left jab, okay? Look, let me train you. Look, I want to be a manager. So their standpoint is that the aliens want to be our manager, okay? Yo, look, they want 10, look, 30, let me get 30%. Let me get 30% off the whole human existence, okay? Cause, y'all going to ascend up the hierarchy, and eventually, we trying to bring y'all into the whole, intergalactic federation. All right. And in order to do that though, like, we gotta get y'all right. Okay. Like, you're a hoe out on a trail. And you just, look, you giving that youth away for pennies on a dollar. Okay, we try and get you right. Look, let's get the implants. Let's tone up. Let's start eating right. Let's work out. Like, yo, I'm trying to present you to this intergalactic federation. You need to be crispy though. So that's his standpoint. Now, his whole thing is that the government is trying to maybe use like misinformation and try to create this idea that the aliens are evil. They're evil aliens. So by them trying to create these evil aliens, it makes us afraid of them. So then when the aliens come to help us, we won't even be ready to receive their help. We're going to actually try to fight them. So that's his whole standpoint, right? He's saying that they're that the government and everything is just trying to, make us believe that the aliens are bad, and they're really trying to help us. And if they wanted to kill us and wipe us all out, they could have done this already. But the fact that they didn't do it, look, that's just a testament to their benevolence. Okay, so that's his standpoint. And they talk about how, and they should look, man, they got some good footage and pictures, right? They have like a Russian UFO site, right? So a UFO crashed in Russia, so they got like some secret footage, which, all the type of stuff that you would believe. They have an autopsy picture, and so an autopsy photo of some type of creature, right? Some type of, look, this is an alien. They have so they recovered the body. Look, they got the images of it. So, it's like, oh, all right, okay, right. So this is definitely a good documentary, and you definitely see some stuff that you haven't seen before, right? Now they say in this the cosmic hoax is that, and this is what brings us over to Tomorrowland. So they're saying that, look, and I never thought about this, right? But the reason why we see aliens, right? The reason why we've been seeing them since we dropped the bomb, is because maybe that bomb affected this alien civilization. And it could be like multi-dimensional. So they could be like multi-dimensional beings able to move between the dimensions. And the bomb disrupted something. And it brought the attention, like, yo, hold up, what was that? So then, boom, now they're just watching. And they're like, yo, nah, we need to really be up on, like, yo, don't be sleeping on little bro in them. Right? Don't be sleeping on little bro in them. So, that whole thing, like I said, they don't want to destroy the car. They like, they want to drive it. They want to drive the car. They're like, yo, man, whoever's driving it, Bob Lazar, because everybody usually be hating on everybody else. So, like James Fox. And this is the thing that kind of turned me away from Fox, to where, like, I'm like, nah, bro. There's a few things that he did. I'm not going to discuss both things, but one of the main things was him and his dismissal of Bob Lazar. And the reason why I say that is because, not that I believe that Bob Lazar is telling the truth and that James Fox and whatever he's investigating is wrong, but like, why wouldn't, if you're, if you really believe in UFOs and you believe in all of this stuff, like, why wouldn't you go and try to meet with Bob Lazar and try to meet him and get his story and talk to him and understand and see, like, yo, and do a documentary on him? Like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, yo, this is what you do, right? And get him in there and y'all go through all of the evidence that you find in it. Like, why wouldn't you do all of that, right? Like, why would you make him a competitor or an enemy, right? And that's what makes me think, like, this is all fake. From his standpoint. So from James Fox, I just feel like it's fake. I feel like he is fake, because, like, why wouldn't you? So, why would you go and investigate the Virginia case, right? And you like, yeah, but I was a skeptic, and like, so all right, you're a skeptic, but this is your thing though. Like, yo, you already got an alien documentary. This is your second documentary though, right? So once you believe, well then, like, yo, you should be believing Bob Lazar, right? You should be believing Bob Lazar. You should be trying to reach out and hear him and, like, yo, befriend him, right? But okay, you're a director, and then he's already tapped in with another director. Well, then that's like, yo, that's like, what, a conflict of interest? But in reality though, like, let's say you truly believed in aliens, right? You're a director. You want to show, right? But you truly believe this, and here you got this guy. He's like, yo, I'm tapped in with this other director. but you truly believe it, it's like, yo, all right, well, yo, I mean, whatever you got going on over there is cool. Like, yo, I just want to hear your story. I just want to, you feel me? I just want to hear you worked on this stuff. Like, yo, I just want to get some insight. We don't even got to use your name. Like, yo, you make money with him. That's cool with me. Like, you see what I'm saying? But that's like when it's not political, right? When it's not political, like when we think about the different beefs throughout the cities and the areas and communities, when we think about those type of things, that stuff is all political. That's what's stopping people from like uniting. It's like, yo, well, such and such killed such and such. Well, like, yo, that's not true, because in prison, yeah, such and such still killed such and such, but now it's one accord. It's like, yo, nah, you're not moving like that. You're not just some rogue soldier. Like, yo, I don't care that he killed your brother or your cousin or your son. Like, yo, nah, if you do that, then consequences are coming to you. And a lot of times that causes, like, yo, all right, well, we're not moving then. And yeah, we're into it on the streets, but in here we're brothers, right? Just like in school. I remember I talked about this before, but all right, you got up the hill and then you got down the hill. So once you go down the hill, so we're from up the hill, right? You go down the hill, you got 4 different projects. So everybody from up the hill, like, yo, when we down here, like, yo, we got to unite, right? So that's politics. Like, that's politics. But how come these politics can't serve us when we're all up the hill and we just like, yo, we're in peace? Like, yo, how come we can't do that? Like, oh, nah. Why? Because it's somebody else, some layer behind that's like, yo, man, I don't care about none of y'all, what y'all got going on. Look, this is what I'm trying to do, right? So everybody have their own agendas. And just the fact that you're trying to dismiss Bob Lazar, and look, I could dismiss both of y'all, right? So I'm not saying either one is true or either one is false, but I'm just saying, like, something as big as UFOs and extraterrestrials, like something as big as that, like, yo, can we just get past the borders? Can we get past the lines and borders of of our chimp brain? Like, yo, nah, man, I don't care what he's saying. I don't care. He from two neighborhoods down. Whatever he says is all lies. Like, oh, come on, man. It just doesn't make sense. It just really doesn't make sense. So when that doesn't make sense, then everything else, how you move doesn't make sense. And I think that was the biggest thing. Like, that's the biggest thing for me, right? Because, I mean, it's like a fighter. It's like, yo, like Bruce Lee. Like Bruce Lee, and people who know me, they know that I'm critical on things. I'm critical on people. That doesn't mean that I don't dislike them or that I dislike them and that I don't like them. So when I talk about Bruce Lee, people know that I'm critical on Bruce Lee. But one thing is true is that, like, yo, Bruce was fascinated by all the styles. Like, he was fascinated by them. Where you get a lot of people who's political, they're like, oh, well, you train in this gym, you can't go train in that gym. You can't, like, yo, no, man, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Like, yo, why are you trying to lock me into all of this political BS? And Bruce, like, yo, no, he wasn't like that. He was like, yo, there's good thing. He understood that, okay, in, real fighting, certain things is just not going to work. Like, he understood that, and, yo, we got to make adjustments, right? So, all right, if he knows Taekwondo, and he knows, so you got 2 guys who are fighting and both of them know Taekwondo, they're going to use their Taekwondo for a little bit. Right, whoever's losing with the Taekwondo, he's not going to just stick with Taekwondo. He's going to abandon Taekwondo. He's going to go to wrestling and grappling. Now, if the person who is winning with the Taekwondo, if he gets grabbed and he can't, he's not strong enough, he doesn't have technique, and he starts to lose in grappling, he's going to try to disengage to get back into the Taekwondo. If he is good with his defense, then he's going to stuff all the takedowns, stop the grappling so that we can continue to do Taekwondo. Now, but if he's good enough in grappling, then as soon as the grappling sequence gets initiated, and he's going to hang in there. Look, let's get it in here. Right. So that is something that, I got to commend Bruce about. And that's the truth. Like when we step away from propaganda and just politics and agenda, when we step away from that, if you are truly a lover and just look, I'm balls deep into UFOs and aliens and extraterrestrials, when there's someone else who has also had an experience, right? This is what I do. I interview people who have experiences. There's someone over on the other side who has an experience. Like, yo, I want to know about his experience too. Like all that other stuff, that stuff don't matter. Borders and treaties don't matter. Like, yo, I want to hear his story. I want to hear what he has to say. And like, yo, why would I have a blind eye for what he's saying, but I don't have a blind eye for what these other people are saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense, right? It only makes sense in borders and treaties. It only makes sense in politics. Okay. Well, he's a Democrat. He's a Republican. So, I just can't believe anything. You see what I'm saying? Like, but in reality, it just doesn't make sense. So that was my little rant on, James Fox. Right. And why, like, it's just why I just got to take what he's saying and what he's doing with a grain of salt. And it's not because I like Bob Lazar or I know Bob Lazar. Like, I don't know either one of them. But the fact that he just was so ready to dismiss Bob Lazar, right? But yeah, he's not going to dismiss these other people. It's like, yo, nah, bro, you just not right. Like, you're not playing with a full deck. Like, you just like super deceitful. Because if you was honest, then you would be as intrigued with Bob Lazar as you are with Eddie Stone. You feel me? Like, yo, you gonna believe just these freaking like, yo, like, nah, bro. It just, so that like that's my criticism, right? So jumping back on to the hoax, right? The cosmic hoax. And looking at where they were saying, okay, the nuclear bomb disrupted something, right? Some other plane, some other, what is it called? Dimension, right? Then we go to Tomorrowland, because Tomorrowland deals with dimensions. You have, but see, the whole human construct of a different dimension is the same as a different planet. So our understanding has to grow before we can truly understand a different dimension. Like it really has to grow, because if we look at the lifespan of an insect who lives for 24 hours, right? That's his life. That's his 100 years or his 70 years is 24 hours. Then we could say that, that's a different dimension, even though you're on the same planet. So you're here on Earth, but the sun is out for your, for the majority of your whole life. And then when it goes down, it's down for, like, that's it. Like, you're never going to see the sun again. Like, that's it, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, so some people, or this creature, right? This awareness, this insect. So for 20 years, or for, right, in its perspective, in its dimension, right? So you have 20 years or 30 years of sun. I mean, like, yo, this is all that it knows. And then the sun goes down and it starts getting cold. And it's like, yo, what's going on? Just imagine if we as people were to experience that, to where for the majority of your life is only the sun, and then towards when you're like maybe 40 or 50 or 60, the sun goes down, and for you it never comes up again, right? Because you don't live long enough for it to come up again. But then you have people who are born right when the sun goes down, right? So then you have this cycle to where, because of our brains and just us writing things down, we're going to be able to say, like, you know, after what, 3, we believe that our way of life has been around for about 6,000 years, right? So after 6,000 years of this is just commonplace. So if you're born at night, like, yo, the majority of your life, like, yo, you're about to 50 years of night, right? And you know this, like, and you just like, man, I just wish I could live long enough. I wish I would have been born, you know, during the daylight, right? So there, like I said, with these creatures, these insects, not even creatures, but the living things that's here on this planet that lives for 24 hours or lives, they gotta, I'm sure we could find out what it has the shortest lifespan, right? But to it has a full life, right? It's only to us that it lives it doesn't even live a long time. So then if you look at it like a tree who lives for what, I don't know, thousands of years, right? Hundreds of thousands of years. Then it's looking at our life like that. How we look at an insect who only lives for 24 hours. It's like, man, they only, like, yeah, you know, they pests, but they only live for like, you know, they only live for like 12 hours, right? 12 tree hours, right? So that perspective is a different dimension, even though it's on the same planet. But when we look at Tomorrowland, and if we look at, you know, this idea of extraterrestrials, and, you know, the nuclear bomb disrupted something in their dimension, then we're saying really just the construct that we're building in these movies, it's just a different planet, right? It's just a different planet. It could even look like it's our planet. It's just a different planet, and it has a gateway. It's a point from here to there, right? So that's very unique in just the why. Okay, why are these extraterrestrials coming here to this planet? And it's like, okay, the why is the atomic bomb, right? So then it's the why. Why would the government do these type of hoax? Which we've already explored. You know, my thoughts on why the government, and it's because, control. It's control, and it's a race to fool the public, and just like, yo, and it's really, I can't even say that it's just to fool, but it's in preparation for if this really happened. Okay, because I remember, all right, so at work there was one of the pipes burst. So at FedEx, one of the water pipes burst. So we had the fire alarm, just let everybody know that that we have an emergency and that we need to stop production and attend to this emergency. Well, look, you got the fire alarm, so me and another worker were like, well, let's evacuate, right? So we evacuate. But you got some people who like, for a little bit, we was just kind of looking around like, all right, so what's going on? I'm getting close to the door just in case. But then you have other people just looking around, just kind of seeing, what's going on? I mean, what is this? What is that? So you already can tell, like, you want to know, okay, what's going to happen during this? And I feel like a part of that has to do with why this is going down. Like, we want to know, how are people going to respond, right? How are people going to respond? If this was a real situation, how would it go? So you got to have a drill. You got to have these drills. And I feel like that's what's going on. Can I explain the phenomenon as far as the UFOs and the UAPs, I think they're called, or UFPs or UPAs or something like that. It was like it's like aerial unknown. So AUPs, UAPs, I think they're called. That's like the new term, right? So can I explain that? No, I can't explain it. But just because I can't explain it doesn't mean that that it's extraterrestrial, right? That it's something. It just means that, look, I mean, the governments have all types of technology and they're into all types of things that we don't know and we can't explain, right? Like, they're in all types of stuff. So yeah, so that's how I look at that type of stuff. So that's that. I've also started on the Chimp Empire, which is really good. Chimp Empire is good. It's on Netflix, so if you guys want to check that out, I definitely recommend it. And it just made me think, which, yeah, I'll talk about it here because I'm not going to be long with it. I was going to say I could save it for the next episode, but maybe we'll jump into some science fiction on the next one. But so the Chimp Empire, it made me think about our existence with the Neanderthal, right? So the chimps are existing with other primates, with other, smaller, lower level primates. And like, they just hunt them and they eat them. Right. So I wonder if the Neanderthals were doing that to us, are they just hunting? I mean, we know that we have some of the DNA. So we know that there was some type of sexual connection. So are they just hunting and raping? I mean, you just never know. But just looking at the chimps with these other primates, if you put yourself in their shoes, in this smaller, you're just a monkey or howler monkey or you're whatever those monkeys were, and just like, man, you got these giant monkeys, like, they don't got no tail, and like, they eat us, like. They're smart. They're smarter than us. They're faster. They're stronger. Like, they just eat you, right? So, I mean, just imagine that as humans, right? And we just have these big, faster, giant, human-like, or animals that's like, they just eating us. But then it's like, but we're smarter, so then what, right? So I think I think at that point, then it's like, boom, like, yo, nah, now it's war, right? We know that, humans love war. So you just never know. I'm sure eventually more and more information will come out, but that's something, maybe we might jump in more into that next week. I'm definitely trying to watch 65 to see where it went, because there's some other sci-fi stories. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what we'll get into that on the next episode. So again, or as always, Reese's PCC.
Everyday life, friends and family.